Hi, my name's Safair. I'm the raid leader for Team Immortality in Part-Time Heroes on Hajal, and I wanted to just do a talk along for our kill of Mythic Crown for those people who are getting to it and progging on it. Just tell what you did. So the first thing you do is you start over here. You're going to start on this Morium, or sorry, no, sorry, Demiar. Range stack here on circle, and then move right when the obelisks come out, and then they move left. Melee are always going to stack in, then move out to point obelisks away. And then you drop the poops over there, you move left, and then these arrows go nowhere, and off you go. The key to this fight in phase one is simply just stack these droplets. You're going to find on your first few pulls, that's the hardest thing to do. The second tank who's over here on the left on Morium, one of the most important things is they don't get the droplets. That's one of the absolute most important things. So the first two droplets go over there and get on them. There's taunting, there's dripping, all that good stuff. Our second set of arrows, we hit the guy because he's dead. Move on to the second guy. The tank over there will go up to the last guy, which is Varellus, and start tanking him and start, most importantly, soaking these void droplets. You can, if you have a Shadow Priest, do what I did, or Boomkin, and basically have third arrow goes nowhere. Have them slam to start getting the droplets going. The first droplet and the second droplet are the hardest because they just create a damage increase. It's easier for the tanks to do it themselves after that, otherwise you might see them fall off. Depending on how fast your DPS is, you're either going to do this on the fourth or fifth arrow from Morium. So right here, it's fourth arrow, and it's going to kill him. Other things to talk about, which were growing pains for us, getting the droplets in place is the first thing you got to work on. Once you get that down, you'll be in a good position. Number two is making sure you understand how obelisks work. Right here, you can see how far this line Atlanta is from that obelisk thing. You want to make sure that the person ideally is closer, so there isn't that like wiggle room per se. Fifth arrows go nowhere. One of the ways people died was a lot of times they'd be in between the person and the big circle. The other way people died is they would have obelisks point at them. The other big key was basically making sure people planted the obelisks. So once you get to where you're going to go, you plant. You'll see a lot more of that in phase two. Other things is making sure that when you have expulsion, a raid or baiting in the proper spots, you don't get them in the wrong place. At this point, you're done. He's dead. There's no more mechanics. You get an arrow. It's going to hit him. It's going to get an intermission. You're going to die to obelisks, and you're going to have people pooping expulsions in the wrong place a lot in phase one. That's what the practice and pain points are for getting it done. Intermission's super chill. You stack up here. I actually think we don't do it right, so you might want to review someone else. We go two sections. I think that's wrong, but I'm not going to worry about it at this point, and I'll point out why it's wrong later. And so you either can take the first and third or second and fourth arrow. There's merits to both. In this case, I'm taking second and fourth. If you do second and fourth, it's actually easier. I kind of just let it naturally be whatever I can do to get hit. If I can't get hit on the first arrow, I just get hit with the second one. You're going to have people throw wind rush totems and roars when the second and third arrows come out to make sure it's safe. You can see I got pretty close there to dying. Once the fourth arrow comes out, it's done. The boss starts taking damage as soon as she starts elevating, so Range can start wailing on her. This is phase two. There's going to be a simulacrum over there that spawns, which kill squad has to go. We only use 3 people. They gate over there. These 3 people have to be able to get back. So for us, it was a marksman hunter, a elemental shaman, and a shadow priest. Everyone else is lusting, blowing all their cooldowns and just wailing on the boss. As long as the boss doesn't get below 40% during this phase before energy cap, you're always better off lusting. If you're doing crazy, crazy damage, you can hold lust until phase 3. I think you're probably at this point of prog better off waiting. When that dies, you come back. And the first of obelisks go nowhere. First baiting of expulsions goes nowhere. Chemo should not have dropped it there. That's fine. Okay, the entire dance, the rest of the fight is you're watching obelisk timers. So you go right, range to go right to bait obelisks. And when obelisks come out, they move left, and the person who has obelisks on them in range will point at the simulacrum on your platform, and the melee one will point to somewhere else. Melee should ideally be baiting in front of the boss and then move behind the boss, because that way there's no one in the way and they're not at risk. So the entire dance is effectively you move right, you bait obelisks, you move left, you poop. You move right, you bait obelisks, you move left, you poop. Over and over and over again. So you see, we move right, we obelisk, we move left, there's the simulacrum on our platform, we're going to hit it. These ads that come up are actually really chill. They don't really do that much unless they're free casting forever. They're just like on Heroic. You put them in a pile, you interrupt them as you can, you hit them with the big arrows. The one other big mechanic in this phase is these arrows that come out. So what happens is when the simulacrums spawn, they target the closest person to them, and then it targets someone else. And the arrow shoots to person 1, then goes to person 2. These have to pass to the boss. So the boss is gaining energy. You can see on my screen right now, she's at 56 energy. And you see, even if the person's going to go right to shoot the simulacrum on the left, everyone else goes left because you can see where they're baiting and you're good to go. And that's just bad luck that the person also got expulsion. One last thing is, and then we'll keep moving on. You gate there because you have lots of time, lots of energy. Back to my point. Simulacrum arrows. They remove 5 energy from the boss from each arrow. So there's 2 arrows that come out. Each set of arrows can remove 5 energy. The more energy you remove, the longer the phase goes, the more damage you have time you have to do damage to the boss. Ideally, you want her to be at, and this time we basically pushed her more or less perfectly. She had about 65 energy coming over here. You want her to be around 65, 70 energy when you cross over, which means you've done a good job. In this case, I'm pretty sure we pushed naturally at 40%. So she either pushes at 100 energy or 40%. Yeah, we're going to push at 40% here. So you're just doing the same thing. Move left, move right, hit the simulacrums, whatever. When she either hits 40% or 100%, she immediately pushes everyone back, so they have to move forward. These last obelisks also will shoot, so just be careful, even though she faces. So she knocks us back. She goes to the last second intermission. Second intermission is real easy. Don't go in. You stay back. She does the slash. You walk in pretty fast. It's a little narrow, and you're going to stack up on the right where we are on Kaladin. Okay, so effectively, you're baiting where the simulacrum spawns. It'll spawn on whatever platform's farthest from her. So we're closest to the platform on the right, so it's going to spawn on the left, which we want. The first set of tethers which come out, same as heroic, you break them tank, melee, range the entire time. Tank breaks first almost immediately for that first set, then melee, then ranged. The reason why is because the tank will oftentimes need help getting over. And yeah, that's something you got to watch out for. One other thing to note is when you cross over, everyone else has to cross over too, however they can. In this case, I life grip, a mage, and a blood DK, a evoker rescues another mage. You'll have obelisks. The obelisks need to stay on the edge. They don't shoot towards the raid. And you all move up here. All the ranged are going to send it on the ad and the simulacrum on the platform and kill them. They're going to focus on the boss. You just hang out up here. You get these expulsion orbs. There's a bad one under the boss. It's on the end of the world. You stack. You don't pop these tethers until the orbs go off because you all take damage. And then tank pops. Good. Melee pops. Range pops. And then we all go to the middle. We never baited this properly because I think we get to the wrong spot. So we actually did it where we go to this tip here and then we actually go across. Normally you go in a clockwise fashion. We didn't. You wait for the lines to come out of the boss. You'll see them here. Great. You put the gate short so you can control the tether breaking. See? So tank broke, melee broke, and then range broke. We're good. We're live. We're moving into the corner. One last thing I wanted to note is this. The mini boss will spawn on the edge of the platform by where the boss is. You want the tank, the off tank, to grab that person and walk it over slowly. Because if you taunt the thing and run, sometimes it does not move, which is a big problem. Because then just cast, you need to stack him and murder him. In this case, the boss was at around 16% coming over here. You can choose to just call for a pure DPS race and murder the boss, no questions asked, and it works. Otherwise, the platform's the same. We wanted to play it safe. We'd pull this boss under 20 times. We go over here, exactly the same thing. Tethers. Tank's going to... Oh, wait. We're going to wait for the orbs to pop. Good. Everyone's okay. Tank breaks. Melee breaks. Range breaks. Okay, this one, people who can't help themselves can get feathers. And then everyone... We did it where the second that blue orb spawns, we all just crossed because we're done. We're going to get over here and deal with all the other mechanics over here because the boss is basically dead anyway. So we got tethers over here. You can see Shade went on the wrong platform, and thankfully he didn't die suddenly. Yeah, if you get over here, though, you're going to just burn the boss. You ignore the ad, everything else. You're just going to burn the boss and kill it, and you're going to be done. And that's it.